It's been a while, so today we're going to check back in with the Sandbox's Sandcoin, perform some technical analysis and make some predictions on where we can expect to see Sand go in the near future. Let's get into it. Welcome into the Sand chart, guys. If you'd like to buy Sand or want some free Bitcoin, there are a couple of links down in the description of today's video. And as you can see, right now we're sitting at a value of $1.12 US. And first things first, given we haven't looked at this for a while, let's have a recap. Over here, we had our peak on the 25th of November, 2021. That was at a value of $8.80. Since that point in time, as you can see, we have slowly been falling. But that downtrend, as you can see, was broken roughly over here around the 17th to the 16th and 15th of June. So that is very positive. Let's zoom things in for a bit now and get into the weeds a bit more. As you can see, this is probably one of the best charts from a consolidation point of view over the past month or two that we have seen on this channel. You can see that since basically over here on the 12th of May, we have been moving in a sideways direction. And what I'm going to do is firstly put in a key point of resistance. And that key point is sitting, I'd suggest, roughly at about this $1.32 mark. I'm going to put that one in right there. And as you can see, we do also have a low which we need to put in a point of support for. That is just down here right on this day, the 18th of June. That low is at 73 cents. So I expect that would be likely for us our key point of support moving into the future. Now, what is going on at the moment is something that is quite encouraging. It's looking like we're seeing a little bit of an upwards trend, and it's starting from that key 18th of June date here. And what you're seeing is consistently higher highs and lower lows, and I would have suggested it probably looked like this. It was very encouraging, but it has fallen now out of this trend. Can we adjust this line? Maybe it's wrong. At this point in time, possibly not, but I think I'm going to just leave it there, and you can see this upwards trend may have come to an end, and the next 24 to 48 hours will be really telling. And the reason I say it hasn't completely failed yet is due to the fact that we're seeing a green candle at this point in time moving back up towards that trend. What we're experiencing is basically a period of potential inflection, a point at which we are starting to coil in the right direction and hope for a break up. At this point, it's looking like it broke down, but you never know, if we get back into that line, we may be able to break up and break through that key point of resistance at that $1.32 mark. But right now, we are sitting down here. Short term, what are we looking at? I suppose we are sitting on another point of short-term support, which is the day lows over here, which is about $1.08. So I'm going to just plug that one in there for you so we can see it perfectly. If we're able to bounce off this and start moving back in the right direction, whether it be within the parameters of this nice little triangle shape here, or even outside of it and continue moving roughly in that trajectory, we may be onto something. Also, there is another possible pattern that we could be setting at this point in time. And I'm going to remove these lines so I can draw it out for you. Now, as you can see, we've bounced up from this point over here and come up. What is looking like a cup and handle pattern may have actually formed. Whether or not that is the case, it is still to be seen, but I think, in my opinion, short term, that is a beautiful cup and handle pattern. Typically what you'd see with these is the movement upwards there, you'd see a bit more consolidation, then you'd see a break back upwards. If this is the pattern that is in play, then we will certainly see another test of that $1.32 mark. From a volume perspective as well, what you'll notice is we're seeing a reduction in volume basically over the past few weeks. This is also indicating to me that we are still certainly consolidating. So I don't think this has completely failed right off the bat. Let's have a look at a few more other indicators as well. First and foremost, RSI. You can see the RSI has actually been relatively high, and our peak day was the 7th of June and was sitting at 59.11. Since then, we have been consolidating downwards, and we are now at a point of 48.74 on the RSI. So plenty of room for us to continue moving upwards if that is the case, but also plenty of room to move downwards. Let's have a look at the MACD as well. And now the MACD will be probably the most important point for us. Right now, it's looking like we may see a cross, and in fact, it may have already occurred, of the 12-day EMA below the 26-day EMA. This would be a major indicator that we're about to reverse out of this little upwards trend we've seen and start moving back downwards to our point of support over here at 71 cents. Now, best case scenario for us, we see a spike in volume come in, buying volume obviously, and we see a rejection of the 12-day EMA off the 26-day EMA. Now, this isn't uncommon for many cryptos that we have been seeing at this point in time, and certainly something that I have my fingers crossed for. But of course, it remains to be seen. This is the indicator you really want to be watching as we move into the next 24 to 48 hours. If we do see that cross downwards and it is very, very conclusive, you're going to see the price then move back down to that point of support over here. All in all though, if we put things into perspective, let's just zoom out a bit. Right now, the point where we're sitting is a major price action point historically. And if we do actually grab these lines here and extend them out, what you'll notice is they are major points for when it comes to the price action on sand. This key point of support is very, very important. It is a major point of support previously, and of course, as you can see across here, a major point of resistance. Then, if we do manage to reverse in the right direction as we take this $1.32 mark through, you can see that was a big breakthrough point for us. I'd suggest probably a resistance point, maybe a bit more over here on the $1.22 mark. If we can get back above that, that would be ideal, and I think it would be a great launch pad for us moving into the future. All in all, from a, I suppose, SAM perspective, things aren't looking too shabby at this point in time. Now, I've just deleted this line over here. I'm just going to put it back into place at that key $1.32 mark right there and zoom in a bit more. I want to look at the daily price action on this one as well, because I think it will be telling. Well, sorry, not the daily, the hourly price action. Let's have a look at that. Now, let's just drill into things a bit more, and as you can see, we're having this similar sort of pattern occur. This is great for traders. You're seeing a nice little kick up, then straight down, up, down, up, down, up. What we are seeing is, of course, a bit of, I suppose, complexity when it comes to the price action. And the reason we're seeing this complexity is because buyers and sellers are indecisive. You can clearly see people are buying in, taking profits, selling out, and then immediately going back and forth. I wouldn't be surprised if you're seeing trading bots do this. It is quite a common pattern for when it comes to those sorts of things. Now, all in all, it is starting to shallow out a bit, as you can see. From here, we were trekking downwards relatively, but I'd say that's probably smoothed out a bit more, going a bit more horizontal, and it's looking like we could possibly start to swoop up. The catalyst for that will be if we can see the next few candles exceed one of these previous peaks that we have over here. Ideally, we want to just exceed this first peak, and that first peak is sitting at a high of $1.15. That is what we need to see on the daily chart hit. Now, we're only sitting right now at $1.12, so we're 3 cents away. It's not too far. It could happen. And on the daily chart, basically, we want to see a close for the day above that point as well. Zooming back in here, and that would really change our trajectory from where it is currently going within the short term. All in all, what is my price target? Well, I think it's quite clear. I'd love to see this $1.32 mark be hit. Whether or not it occurs, that remains to be seen, but I have my fingers crossed. Worst case scenario, this handle's going to fail and we're going straight down, unfortunately, to that 71 cent mark. That wraps up today's analysis of the Sandbox's Sandcoin, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. I'll leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.